Dr. Shabir, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
Pleasure to be on.
We're looking at chapter 5, verse 105 of our Misunderstood Quranic Verses series, Dr. Shabir. And the verse we are looking at goes like this. Believers, you are only responsible for yourselves. Those who go astray cannot harm you if you are on the right path. All of you will return to God, and He will tell you what you have been doing to hold you responsible for it.
Mm-hmm. So the misunderstanding arises if this verse is taken in isolation from other verses in the Quran. Everything has to be interpreted in context, and if we're picking a subject to study, we have to pick all the verses in the Quran from everywhere that deal with the particular subject, put them all together, then we come out with a distilled meaning. So this verse, sometimes one verse seems to tend one way, another verse seems to tend another way, and we have to put the two ways together. So this is one case where you have a verse that tends one way. It tends towards, freeing the believer from responsibility for what others are doing wrong around them. But there are other verses which point the other way that say that in some way society becomes responsible if there is harm being committed. And so this is on many levels, like there has to be laws implemented, criminals have to be brought to justice, and so on. But even on in the sphere of preaching moral principles and ethics, there are verses which put the onus on believers to preach the right message, to give a good maw'idha or lessons or lectures, and even to enjoin what is right, to command what is right, where you have the authority and you're able to do that, and to prevent the wrong, where of course again you have the authority to do that.
So where do you feel that this verse fits in, Dr. Shabir? How does it work in alignment with the other verses that you're mentioning?
Yeah, so it works in alignment in saying that, okay, so after you've done all of that, some of the commentators on this verse point to the part that says, إِذَا اهْتَدَيْتُمْ, if you are guided yourself. And they say, well, part of the guidance, if you're following the guidance, is that you're following the whole Quran, which tells you also to preach the right message, to enjoin the right, to forbid the wrong. So after you have done all of that, if there are other people who didn't listen to the right message, they didn't come back to what is true, then you are free of responsibility because you have already given the right message. And some other verses that we brought into even to support this verse and what it seems to be saying, leaning on the one side, there are verses which say, وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينَ. For example, in the 36th chapter, we have no responsibility except to convey the right message. So after we have conveyed the right message, whatever people do with it, that's up to them. We're not going to force anybody to convert. We're not going to force anybody to do what we're telling them. We just give them the message, and then it's up to them. And it's not only on us believers, even on the Prophet. وَمَا عَلَى الرَّسُولِ إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينَ. It's the messenger's responsibility is only to convey the message. So even the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, could not force people to convert to Islam or to follow the right way. Of course, he could implement a system of justice, which, like in any country, you have laws and you have penal courts. That's within his ambience as a state leader, but as a prophet of God, his duty is just simply to convey the message. And we, as his followers, have the same duty to convey the message and then leave people to do what they do. So long as we are rightly guided, their misguidance will not come to harm us.
Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslim Media Hub, the new home of Let the Quran Speak.
Here we spread positivity and good. We help people experience the beauty of Islam and help them appreciate and understand Muslims.
This beautiful building we purchased at cost $2.3 million.
Yeah, we've already raised a third of that money, and with your help, inshallah, we can pay off the rest.
So we're looking for people who can give $1,000 each. If you can be part of the select group, that's amazing.
Otherwise, just please give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help us continue this good work.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be a benefit to the Muslim community long after Safiya and I are gone.
Please support our work at muslimmediahub.com.
Your support is zakat eligible and tax deductible.
May Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.